They stand tall amongst us, and sometimes we pass them by without even giving them notice. What I'm talking about are trees or a tree. Have you ever thought about how important that tree is wherever it is that you find it? In your backyard, along the walk, in the forest that you visit? Trees are important. And I would like to put forth that there is the concept of legacy that you can connect with trees, and thus you can identify a legacy tree. Now, what I'd like you to do is if you have a piece of paper or use your imagination, what I'd like you to do is draw your favorite tree. Now, it's a simple request. Just draw your favorite tree, whether it's a deciduous or a coniferous tree. Now, what is going to be interesting here, based on your drawing or your imagination, did you put a crown, which is the top of the tree, in, whether it is a deciduous tree or a coniferous tree? Most likely, yes. Did you put a good solid trunk with your tree? I'm thinking yes. And how many of you actually put the roots and draw a root system underneath your tree? I'm thinking most of you drew the top of the tree, the trunk, and then a line for the ground, maybe some bumps, but not necessarily a full root system. So when you think of a tree, we think about what it is that we see, but there's something underneath there that's even more viable and more interesting in many ways. So the legacy tree concept that I want to give to you now, I would like to offer is that it has the roots, the trunk, and then the branches from the top. And I want to use this metaphor as a way in which to help you think through so that you can craft a lasting legacy in that latter part of your living legacy life, in your 60s, 70s, 80s. And I would encourage, if you're looking at this and you have some friends who are in their 40s and 50s, you may want to get them to look at the video from a preparation point of view. Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. And then they can start looking at the trees that they see, the metaphors, analogies, similes that they can pull from that, that they can use to craft their life, their legacy life, living their legacy life. But for those of you who are here now, I just want to go over some important elements of the legacy tree to invite you to go, oh, that's a great way of looking at it. And therefore, to look at it as a simple, deeper, better, wiser, kinder approach to crafting that life that you are wanting to live, you desire to live. And to be able to set that up, I would like to offer the roots, which are so important and we don't always see, is really in our metaphor language, is the evidence, education, and experience that you have accumulated over the years. The evidence of proof of what it is that you have done. You can go to your resume, for example, there is statements there. You can go and look at your education approaches. What is it that you have used to help others learn? And then there's the experience, all those experiences you've had, good, great, memorable, remarkable, extraordinary experiences that you can start to go, okay, from that evidence, from the education approaches that I think would work best, of the experiences I want to create and invite others into, they are being invited into your legacy, your lasting legacy. And once you can leverage that, the nourishment that is there, just like the roots are bringing the water and the minerals for the tree to grow, you're bringing this evidence, education, experiences as a way in which to nourish and nurture your life. Now, what becomes interesting here is that the trunk is really, what is legacy? What is my lasting legacy? What is my legacy? It is what is the trunk. And it is up and down from there that the tree can grow. The water nourishment, the sugars that are necessary for the roots to grow, that transport system. Your understanding, your definition of legacy, your approach to legacy living, it's what the trunk is about. It's what gives you that sort of pillar to work from. While the roots give you that grounding, the trunk gives you that pillar, that standing, that stalwart approach to what's taking place. I have a forestry background, and that's why I so love the tree metaphor that I'm using. And if you've not met me, I'm Stephen. I am with Younger, Older, Elder, and I'm the one living a legacy life in a way that I'm inviting you to craft your legacy life. And if I can be of assistance in the dream, the design, the develop, the deliver, the determine if it's working kind of scenario, please reach out. I'll do what I can to help you out. And watch the videos on the channel, which is a great reminder. Please subscribe. Thanks very much. Now, with this trunk, what's happening is that for the tree to really blossom, it creates branches out from it that holds the other smaller branches, the leaves. Now, we think of the deciduous really going out. There's a coniferous that tends to have a little bit more. If you look from the top, it sort of looks like a cone. Deciduous looks like it's spread way out. Whatever way you're looking at it, there is a sense of important branches to that tree. And if they are functioning correctly, they are fulfilling their job of spreading out so that the tree can connect with the sunlight and have that interaction take place that helps with the growth of the tree. Now, I like to put to you that there's five main branches that are on the tree, this legacy tree that I'm bringing to you. And what we have is the first one, the first branch is about life. It's about living that life from a perspective of health and wellness, the job and work, your philanthropy and volunteerism, your leisure and recreation, your family and friends. This is an element of how and where and why you are living the life you are. And you may be then starting to think, well, how does my legacy fit into that, my legacy life? And then what you do is you bring forward this whole sense of leadership. Now, for some of you, you might be going, well, I'm done with leadership. I'm not really going to do too much with that. I'm moving out of the organization where I'm working in. I'd go, hang on a minute. There's a wealth of insight in that leadership that you have shown over the years. And or this is a great time to bring it forth to be able to help others, because legacy, that trunk, the legacy definition I would offer is about the useful what's that you gift others so that they can learn from your experience. And the useful what's are time, effort, and money. And from a leadership point of view, the approach that you use to living your life, you are in a sense leading. And therefore, you can be doing some mentoring. You can be the guide on the ride for youngers and other olders who are looking to craft a life, a legacy life. You could help them and for yourself and with your family and friends, and find the meaning of what lasting looks like in your life. So we've gone over the sense of life and then the leadership and how to make that connection. And I'll certainly go deeper in other videos into life and leadership and the two of those together. This third one is around legal, the aspect of the estate planning to the financial planning that you do, the wills. There are still accountabilities and responsibilities from a civility point of view about being involved in our society that are still required, even for your family and friends, about how you want to leave what you have for them, and therefore you lead them in a sense to live a life because of what you might be gifting them. And so, thinking about it from that perspective, you can bring those three together. This next one is around literacy. Now, this is an interesting one because there's still that sense of curiosity I'm sure that you have and that you want to live with. You still want to grow, you still want to learn. And therefore, literacy here, there is what I call the wealth springs, WELL. It's about well being and well living to the nth degree. There are a lot of things you can still learn and use from a how do I put them together in this life, this legacy life that I want to live. So, how can I bring these insights, this learning for knowing that I'm going to continue to do? I shoot videos every morning called shorts, and I use it as a prompt to offer to you to think through in your legacy journal, and I certainly encourage you to find a legacy journal, whatever format that might be, even to the point of sticky notes and recipe cards or a binder, a spiral binder, whatever it might be. And I have a legacy journal that is available on Amazon, and there's a reference in the description below if that's something that's of interest, and a couple of workbooks as well. But by taking those prompts and thinking it through, you can use them to craft this legacy life, this lasting legacy life that you're looking at doing. And therefore, that growth, that literacy, tapping into it, brings those together, which then allows you to look at this last one, which I call loverage. Loveridge. It's a play on leverage. I just took the first E out, placed it with the O. And this notion of the lover of aging, if you look at leverage, rather than the lever of aging, it's the lover of aging. And that aging that you're going through, there is still much to unfold for yourself. I appreciate there's some elements of fear that you might think, oh, there's still some things in the future that are going to cause me more pain than pleasure. I understand that. But what happened if you reframe that into a different way, and being able to say, oh, okay, I would desire to live this. I welcome these experiences into my life because it's those experiences that nourish you, they become the roots. They bring forth another way in which to look so that your legacy tree blossoms, blooms. It does what it is that it's meant to do. And therefore, when you bring those five branches together, any one of them that gets weak may impact the health of the tree. And therefore, how do you balance them all off in crafting this lasting legacy? That becomes important. And that's what a lot of the videos, the channel is about for you, is how to craft. I would use another phrasing: discover, shape, and share your legacy. And that's what it's about. But the beauty of this legacy tree metaphor is that the tree, in its presentation on an everyday basis, a real tree, it does what it's supposed to do to be able to offer itself to you, its essence to you. And when the time comes, it will fall. But if you do it from a safe point of view, if it's around your house, it can still be then, from a sustainability point of view, still contribute to the life cycle of living. Thus, the legacy tree is that when you transition, if you have found the way to bring the roots to the trunk, to the branches, to the foreground for yourself and live that life, then when you transition, you've done it in such a way that you will be remembered as a person who, and whatever that might be. And that is a great way to look at the full cycle of the legacy tree based on a real tree. So, therefore, like any tree, you have to plant the seeds and nurture its growth. And sometimes it does it naturally. But just like your life, you have to seed it in its approach. But as you move towards this lasting legacy, have you thought about how you would nurture the planting of those seeds to grow the legacy tree for yourself? And that's where, if I can be of assistance and this YouTube channel can help you out, then please tap into it, subscribe, and share the comments that you might have with it. So, what I'm offering here is this metaphor of the legacy tree, the roots, the trunk, the branches, your legacy, contributions, stories, projects. Take care. Of the videos that are on this page to the right, they are ones that I thought might be of value to you as you move forward. And again, please subscribe and comment.